Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Liverpool Latest. I'm your host, Matt. Thank you for joining me once again. As always, feel free to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts down below, as I always like to hear from you. I appreciate the fact that you are joining me and FanArch in this journey, as always. So it's been about 24 hours now from me making this video removed since our very shaky win, or ugly win as I called it, against Tottenham. And now Arne has given us some of his thoughts about the game, particularly in the last 10 minutes, which I will elaborate on later in the video. He says the last 10 minutes were a little rough. They had about 95% of the ball, and we had trouble retaining possession, couldn't clear the ball, and if we did, it was very aimlessly to the point where they were just going to get it right back. And we invited pressure onto our side unnecessarily. And I'm not going to lie to you, those last 10 minutes, I wholeheartedly agree, were probably the most stressful part of the match. Honestly, after the corner kick that led to the Richarlison goal, I would arguably say that was when the stress started to rise up, because typical for us this season, we can't have any win easy. This, as many of us has said in the fandom, whether we are, content creators or just fans on social media, it's a structural issue. It's a structure issue. It's not just about nerves on the pitch. Obviously, we have our problems with this, of course, with the lack of calming midfield presence late on, which is weird because at one point we had five midfielders starting for the team. So I'm not really sure where that excuse comes from Arne Slot. But there's no, and we can also agree, all of us can agree, that there is no game killer pattern as far as how we are to continue momentum throughout games. Here's an idea. Give the ball to Ekitike, because clearly he's the one that has been stepping up the most as far as the strikers go. And same thing with Wirtz. Wirtz has been picking up the pace as of late, which I'll also describe a little bit later on in the video. The thing that bothers me about Arne Slot's thoughts about this video is like this whole, and when I summarize the article, it talks about how chaos isn't accidental, it's transitional. That's essentially what happens with watching this team, especially this season, where it's like there is no controlled chaos. It's not like it's like watching Darwin Nunez play and get the ball and have him create some crazy setup only for it to go wide or over the net, especially from like 3 yards out. That's chaos. It's not controlled chaos, but it's chaos. So this has just been really rough, and it seems like as time goes on, there's new tactical demands that are being demanded of the team. And of course, we were all hopeful with our early wins of the season, and now it's created a bunch of unrealistic expectations, because we were at the highest of highs to the lowest of lows, and now we're like somewhere here right now. Like, we have a little bit of hope. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Arne Slot says, which I think is complete bullshit, it was never as bad as people said, but we are definitely not perfect yet. I'm assuming he meant the little bit of a lull that we were on, and I'm going to say that is complete bullshit because, well, it was pretty bad. These choices he was making in these matches was utterly pathetic, and the way the team was playing was utterly pathetic. So yes, it was as bad as all of us were saying, regardless of what platform we were saying it on. I don't care if you're a pundit or a content creator or a fan. It was pretty bad. I think Arne Slot the one thing I hate about Arne Slot in these press conferences, there's this arrogance about him that in his words that I pick up that I don't like. I never got that. I mean, I know I hate to compare Arne Slot to Klopp because Klopp is a completely different person and a completely different manager. But I never really got that from Klopp. I felt like Klopp was more of like a human being, a little bit more down to earth in his words, and he was realistic. I mean, he's a German after all. I would think that, Arne Slot being Dutch, he'd also have that European realism that we all have, but it seems like it's also kind of rooted in ego too. And I feel like that's the arrogance I'm getting out of his words. So a lot of what he says where it's like, oh, it's wasn't as bad as people say, or oh, whatever, and other stuff he said throughout the course of the season I've talked about. It's all bullshit. It's all complete, utter garbage. Obviously, he's going to talk about the injuries, so I say let's just get right into it. Isak injury. It is not great. The last I heard about it, an independent reporter for Liverpool said something along the lines of that he has a broken ankle. Now, when you watch the fall, clearly something on the lower extremity was bothering Isak. How he was able to get the goal off in that absolute shit show is beyond me. With that being said, it still sucks that he went down. A lot of people were saying, oh, he walked on his own. Maybe it's not that bad. Oh, maybe it's not that bad. I don't know, man. When you need two guys on either side of you to help you walk you off the pitch or the field or any sport, in any sport, off the ice, off the court, anything, it ain't good. It's not good. So, from what I understand, and this is just, I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's been confirmed yet, but it seems like Isak has a broken ankle, which could potentially take him out for the rest of the season, because it seems like he's not going to be better for weeks, not days, which sucks because he was already kind of iffy when he returned from injury the first time. So, I am of the opinion that Isak, I don't want to say is a failed experiment, but I feel like he's not making a good argument for himself at this point in time. If anything, Alexander Isak is simply unlucky, which is even worse because now Sweden, I think, still has to play in the... I think Sweden made the World Cup. I'm not entirely sure. But if they did make the World Cup, Isak is pretty screwed now. Well, they're pretty screwed because now Isak is injured. So I'm sure the Swedish national coach is fuming if that is the case. But again, I don't remember off the top of my head if they actually got in or not. So if they didn't, I'm sure that is a load off their mind. I can say that much. So it's also a big problem for us in the sense where it's just another guy down now. Salah, clearly, in the African Cup of Nations. Gakpo has been ruled out for the next couple of weeks still. Hopefully he'll get better, because honestly, as much as I don't want to see Gakpo anywhere on the field at this point in time, he's the only hope we have left as far as a striker goes outside of Ekitike. Isak, as I said, is now injured, and Bradley is apparently facing timeout too. So our right back options are dwindling ever so rapidly, because we had Joe Gomez that's out. Bradley is now out again after suffering not only a suspension but I think an injury earlier in the season as well. So I have absolutely no goddamn idea. I actually had no idea Bradley was hurt until I saw this news this morning, because I just thought that he was subbed off for something. I had a feeling it was maybe a small injury. I had no idea that it was at the level it was at where he had to be subbed off in the second half, because it sucks. It sucks. So it's like, it's just, again, this entire game and this entire season is rooted in chaos and angst, and I just can't I can't deal with that anymore, man. It hurts. It really hurts. Which begs the next section I want to talk about here, as I realize now that I spelt dominance wrong, and Fuck it. It's live, baby. Um, forgive me. Forgive me. Um, so it begs the whole thing that I've been talking about, where it's like we assert dominance in the match. If you go back to my last video, I talked about how the statistics were pretty much dominating. We dominated in possession, passes, shots, everything under the sun as far as like a mostly positive result we excelled in. With that being said, there was seldom a time we ever really had control. And I think those last 10 minutes where we're giving the ball away and allowing Tottenham, who has 9 men on the pitch at this point in time, mind you, to have chance after chance, making Alisson work, making the defense work, we're supposed to be pushing them, right? Isn't that the whole point of having the 2-man advantage, is that we are supposed to be pushing to them, not the other way around? But what do I know, I guess. So, for the first, and the sad part is, like I said, before the Richarlison goal, we were pretty structurally sound. Like, we had a pretty solid game. It was really Tottenham that was making the game ugly for the most part. We were disciplined in our position. I mean, people say the game was shit, but I didn't see that up until the Richarlison goal. Like, after we gave away the set pieces, when things started to fall apart for us. It's like we gave up the goal a goal that we really shouldn't have given up, to be honest with you. And we just keep shooting ourselves in the foot from there. And it just makes me angry, because we dominate matches, but then we lose control and we allow the opposing team, to get the one up on us. And when it comes to games coming up, like against Wolves, I am nervous. Because now not only is Isak out, Bradley's hurt, so on and so forth, we're losing a lot of crucial guys against a team that really fucking sucks. Like, this season, I'll be shocked if Wolves get out of relegation, because they have absolutely no shot at this point to even get out of the bottom 3. If we lose to Wolves because of the issues we are having, fire slot right then and there. I've been saying it for weeks, and I have hope right now, but if we lose to the Wolves of all teams, I know we're hurt, I know we got injuries, but on paper, we're still a better team than the Wolves ever could hope to be. And if we lose, get Slot out of here. That's inexcusable, man. It's I would have absolutely no words for the travesty that would be to see that happen. So it really hurts to see, because I just want us to be good again. Like, for the first, for over 3/4 of the season last season, we were dominating games for the most part. Like, we had our shaky moments, yes, but all in all, there was never really a doubt that we weren't going to win a lot of games. And in the beginning of the season, this season, mind you, it seemed like, well, actually, excuse me, I'm fast forwarding too much. At the end of the season, after we had already confirmed to win the league, that's when the problems start showing up. Because let's be honest, to some of these games that we had absolutely no right losing at all, bar none. Like, some of those games that we had where we drew or lost, no reason to lose or draw, frankly. After that, when we start the new season, the Community Shield game, we lose in humiliating fashion, mind you. In my opinion, because I think we were up 2-0, and then we allowed Palace to score 2 goals unanswered. Or it was a back and forth, one of the two. The game is a little bit foggy because I tend to want to forget it. And then we just suck for like the first few games of the season. And I know we won the games, yeah, but it didn't come without its own struggles. And then we started drawing, and then we start losing, and then it's just loss after loss after loss, because it's the same issues over and over again. Set pieces, no control of the ball, defense constantly collapsing. And it's the same issues now. Even with these wins, it's the same issues. Defense has been shaky. The defense in those last 10 minutes was shaky. At best. When we need to have a brick fucking wall. Because after that Richarlison goal, and after they go to 9 men, there is no reason that that ball should not be anywhere near our side of the field. They had to do a better job containing it, and they did not. And if we struggle with 9 men from a pretty solid team in Tottenham, I know they've been having their struggles, but all in all, Tottenham is a bigger club. What are we going to do against Wolves this weekend? Who have like 3 points, maybe less. We're fucked. That's what we are. We're fucked. So we need to find ways to establish dominance and maintain control, especially when it's in our benefit, because this game was completely in our benefit. The ref was on our side, which is something we never have. He given out 2 red cards to Tottenham players. Lots of fouls were given too. And somehow, some way, we still find ways to struggle. I don't get it. I don't know if it's ineptitude or what, but before I rant any harder about this, I asked the question for future games, who needs to step up here? Who really needs to step up? And I think striking-wise, it goes without saying, Ekitike is our guy. Wirtz is probably going to be one of our guys in the midfield to set up Ekitike, because the Wirtz assist to Isak was chef's kiss. Everything that we've wanted from him all season, he's finally putting it together. Ekitike's been on fire. Gakpo, when he comes back, I hope he finally unfucks whatever's going on in his brain. And I'm not even going to mention Chiesa, because Slot has it out for that man for some strange reason, even though we desperately need him now more than ever with Salah out and now Isak. Defense-wise, I got no clue. Defense-wise, the right back, is shot. And it's even worse now because apparently Dominic Szoboszlai, if I'm not mistaken, I read something online today that Dominic Szoboszlai is now suspended for the next game against Wolves, which that means another name is down. So in a match where I need Dominic Szoboszlai to step up, which I know he will, he can't play because he has too many yellow cards. A yellow card, mind you, that was complete bullshit, because I saw the replay as to what actually happened with that yellow card. And it was all because he stared down Richarlison after the goal or some bullshit. And that was, of all the decisions the referee made, that one was bullshit against Liverpool. I can tell you that much. I don't know what the fuck he was on with that one. So, Ekitike and Wirtz are probably my 2 guys that got to step it up. Szoboszlai, when he eventually comes back from suspension, is obviously going to be a guy to look at. I can't even say Van Dijk and Konate at this point, because Van Dijk has been shaky. Konate has been garbage. I can't sit here and put faith in our center backs. That's the sad part. The two biggest names in our defensive line, I can say I have no faith in. Because honestly, it was Van Dijk's poor defending to get the ball out, which led to the Richarlison goal that caused the whole fucking downfall to begin with of that game. So, I say downfall as if we lost. If we still won, but it's like, that's where all the problems started. So, I have little faith in them to do anything. And as far as left back goes, Kirkes was pretty shaky this past game. He's had some good games, but this game he wasn't at his best, admittedly. I still don't know if Andy Robertson is a good call to have at left back either. So, what options do we have? We have none. Calvin Ramsey to throw in there? What fucking position would Calvin Ramsey even play? Would he play right back or would he play center? I have no fucking clue. Oh man, I I have no words. I have no words. Frimpong, actually, no, Frimpong is another option too. I forgot he is back from injury, even though he had a bit of a tear there that took him out. He still is a defensive option, but he's got to get more playing time for that to be a viable option to start anyway. But who knows? I have my list of guys. You probably have your own list of guys. I thank you for watching this episode of Liverpool Latest. It means a lot to me that you're here, as always. And I will see you guys on the next one. Up the Reds, and you'll never walk alone.